A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you're watching us. I'm glad that you're here with us. My name is Herman Manyora, and welcome to another episode of the Candid Talk here on Professor Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. And I'm here, joined this good morning by the professor next to me. Hi, Prof. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
How is it going so far?
Wonderful.
I want us to look at some issue here that, of course, is of great public interest. The KEMSA, of course, has been caught up in another 4 billion tender scandal amid all these things taking place. I want us to start this conversation here with relevance to the fight against graft. You saw the other day, Bishop David Oginde has been sworn in as the new chair of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Therein, public trust is at an all-time low right now. Let's begin with the issue at KEMSA. What do you think is really happening in this country?
It's nothing. It's just normal. We are a thieving country, and we celebrate our thieves. So why would we pretend to be annoyed? And then we are an episodic country. An episode like that comes up, we forget, another thing comes up, Shakahola will go, another thing will come and go, KEMSA will come. We are a stupid country. We never follow on anything through until its conclusion. Ni kama when we used to do hunting. Swara anaenda kumwamsha swara mwingine, mnafuata huyu akichoka, anajua mahali mwingine yuko anamwamsha, mnafuata yeye anabaki hapo. That's what we do as a country. So it's nothing surprising. Okay. But more seriously, there are two things here. Number one, the arrangement of health services in this country is seriously wanting. Beginning with the fraud that is NHIF, we need to dismantle it. And then we need to order drugs in a better way than KEMSA and equip our hospitals. And Kenyans get free health care. Not NHIF, not any form of insurance, just free. Something else about KEMSA, which is a general thing. Corruption resides in procurement. Show me one procurement officer who is not rich. Just one. Even the smallest outfit in a county. Procurement officers, the first one in our county, 2013. They bought houses and put up magnificent homes. If you are looking for corruption, if you are looking for thieves, just go into the procurement department. So what do you do? If I'm in charge of this country, I will abolish procurement. So I'm trying to tell you, abolish KEMSA. Abolish procurement department. Let there be no procurement department. Zero.
How would you get now?
Now I've given this example. Your name is Evans Okenyi. You are a director in a government department. You need to buy 3 vehicles. This has been approved. The necessary approval, the types of vehicles. So you are supposed to buy 3 Toyota Land Cruisers. The capacity, the shape, everything. You just go to Toyota Kenya and buy. Simple. Why do you need a procurement officer? You just go to Toyota Kenya, call them, give them raise an order, tell them my department requires Toyota Land Cruiser of these specifications. We need them delivered. Give us the invoice. Now, it's very simple. Toyota Kenya imports vehicles and or has vehicles it has been selling. If you want 3 units and Toyota Kenya has had 50 units in the last 3 months, they cannot give you a price different from the ones they have been selling.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
I get you.
Because every time Toyota Kenya sells a unit of that car, the taxman is involved. So the government knows the price of that Toyota. It cannot have been selling the Toyota at 10 million, and now because it is government, it sells you at 30 million.
Okay.
There must be something red, it refuses. The systems must refuse to make payment. Because when you raise the invoice from your department, it must go to the system. The system will counter check this particular type of vehicle. How much was Toyota selling in the last 3 months? What has been the average price? If it's not within that range, red, that payment is not made. So finally, if you want a TV for your office, you just go to Sony Center or LG Center, buy it. But when you raise the invoice to pay, the system will check. Sony Center Westlands, this model of a television, have they had them? Yes. In the last 3-4 months, yes. What has been the average price? 60,000. This one wants 80,000, no payment. You don't need the procurement officer for anything. There must be a standard price and everybody knows about it. You cannot come and take a ball pen, which we buy at 30 shillings, 20 shillings, like we saw, and say it's 800 shillings. So procurement is where we hide theft. Abolish it. Abolish chemistry. If you want to buy drugs, my friend, international prices of drugs are known. There's no drug whose international price is not known. Landed in Mombasa. It's just like vehicles. If you are buying a Mercedes 350, C350, E350, E350 of this type, if you go on the internet, you'll see landing price in Mombasa.
So what are you suggesting as
I'm suggesting we abolish chems and we abolish procurement.
And my question would be this.
Yes.
If you've got a house, for that matter, Prof, you've got a house, and then this is perhaps a rental house, for that matter.
Yes.
And then you entrust some sort of a caretaker inside there to be coordinating everything for you. If the caretaker decides to take all the money and not fail to give you that much, do you deal with the caretaker or you deal with the house? Do you abolish your house because that guy has made a mistake?
No. Your analogy is not a good analogy.
No, but
I'm just saying, what does KEMSA do? That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
KEMSA is an agent that procures things. It's a procurement agent.
So is the problem with the body of the people they are in?
No,
That's
it's a whole
question.
system of procurement. We don't need anything to do with procurement. We don't need.
Okay.
We don't need procurement. If you are, I come from Vihiga. If the Vihiga County Hospital requires drugs, if they are not being procured in a central way, we want Vihiga to procure drugs. They just prepare the list of drugs they want. And they buy from an international market. And the international market will have a problem exaggerating the price because they are selling to Vihiga. Because we can counter-check. The systems are there. These drugs are there. The prices are there internationally. Why do you need a procurement person to buy for you? The county just raises invoice, requisition against the drugs they want and the equipment they want. They float in the international market. And then the national suppliers will just deliver to the county.
So in short, you're saying the procurement concept cannot work in Kenya.
Wanafanya ukora na wanakuambia kitu ya shilingi 10, wewe weka 50.
Okay.
Sasa badala hiyo 10 tutakupatia 20, si tukule 30. That's what they do. So, I mean, for how long shall we continue being stupid?
Okay.
For how long?
Well and good.
This country must move forward. And the starting point is to run away from stupidity. When you see stupidity, run away from it. And this country seems to be running on stupidity. You allow some stupid boys and girls in the name of procurement officers to mess everything. To buy things worth 200 shillings at 5,000 shillings. And we call ourselves human beings. Then we go borrowing money from people and suffering and overtaxing Kenyans.
Okay.
If you go to a school, if procurement in a school is streamlined, parents will pay half of what they are paying today and their children will live better lives.
Okay.
Choose any school, Alliance, Lenana, any school in this country, and send me there. Send me there. I tell the Basa, bring the books here. I say the principal to Kainawewe one afternoon. I will reduce fees by half, and the students will eat better. Because all the money is lost in procurement. Ukora watu wanatajirika. You look, even an accounts clerk in a school. What I have not made in all these years, they make in a year.
So you're saying some of these institutions are breeding ground for graft and
they are not breeding, they are corruption itself.
Okay, let me no. Let's look at the bishop now, who is in charge, of course, retired Bishop Dr. David Oginde.
A very capable man.
Yeah, very capable man who's taken now, is now at the helm of controlling graft in this country, and of course he is coming in at a time when the country is facing a lot of crisis with all these things, and of course our counties are grappling with a lot of difficulties, talk of cash crunch therein, but then still it's a matter of people are asking, why would you be demanding for money from the national government only for you to eat down there. So corruption is rampant down there. What does it take to fight graft in this country?
Will. Just will.
Okay.
And it must be at the top. You can never fight corruption if the top is not willing to fight corruption. One man at the top, everything will roll down, there'll be no corruption, or at least there'll be manageable corruption. And then working institutions. You don't need EACC to fight corruption, because corruption in this country is just theft.
And that is what
you just need police to arrest people and the courts to jail him. Simple.
And that is why
what we call corruption is such a cheap theft. The theft is so cheap that a first-year law student can prosecute successfully any of these thieves and have them jailed in 6 hours. Start in the morning and evening they are eating it ready. You don't even need another week. Oh, but journeyman. No! Just in the morning, so at 9 o'clock, they will take lunch in committee. Yes.
And that is where my question was now coming. What is the relevance of bodies such as the EACC? Now we have it there. It has been there. Has it served us? Has it achieved
There is
its
no
purpose?
relevance. You must go, if you want to understand something, go to the history. These are things we put in place to convince the people outside that we are doing something about corruption. It was not for us. We had become a pariah state. Kenya had been blacklisted and made to look like shunned by almost all donors and IMF and World Bank. So one of the things the country was doing was to show them we are serious about this thing of corruption. And they established that body. Countries that establish things like this are countries that are out to convince third parties. Not themselves. No. And if you want to know that's the truth, you go there and try to work. Ask PLO. They will send you home. If they give you a job there, they're not giving you to work. Just give you for it's PR.
So,
PR, just PR. Yeah.
so that's why
It cannot work.
PR left.
They cannot do anything. They just PR.
Okay.
You don't need EACC, honestly. You just need police to arrest people who have stolen. And a prosecutor to prosecute them. And a willing court. And an able court to jail them. It's as simple as that. These are just thieves. You know, corruption is a network of smart people. Smart people with smart moves. But this is just theft. That's why when you had the chicken get scandal, the serious fraud office in the UK, it just laughed. It jailed people there and hours within jail. Oh, each chicken, they were calling us, oh, chicken, you know, chicken, this, 2 chicken. They cup 1, cup, you send this money, you receive this money, cup. They were jailed, they have finished their terms. Here we are not even processing them for prosecution. It is thefts for which you need the police to arrest, do the investigations, the prosecutor to take the file, take them to court, a competent court, competently working, judiciously, expeditiously, and then jailing the thieves. But you cannot do that until the top makes it possible. So you'll fight corruption in this country when one man or woman will land in State House and the people will know it's not business. Let us assume, because sometimes we have to assume. Let's indulge ourselves some, you can call it daydreaming if you wish, but it can be a reality. Let us assume like Mother Karua lands in State House. That's the end of theft. Yes. It's the end of theft.
Okay.
Nobody will steal in this country. It will be the end. Completely. Mother Karua, President Mother Wangari Karua in State House. Kusha. Nobody will steal. Somebody landed in took power in Nigeria and he had been known to be a no-nonsense person. Mustala Mohammed or somebody like that. Traffic in Nigeria was flowing in the morning. Even before he went to the office the first day. Traffic was flowing. People knew a man who has taken over is not a joke.
So,
you put someone like Mother Karua in State House. That's the day stealing stops that day. Nobody will steal.
So
remember when we had this Kamata Friday? Although it ended up achieving little. Hey, theft in public offices reduced so significantly. You take your voucher for signature, your voucher is pushed for signature. Everybody looks at it, they don't want to touch it. They read the file, they study the file, they look at the history, the procurement. How did you get it before they sign? People are scared. Human beings can scare. So if you have somebody at the top who registers that point, that in this country, theft will be a thing of the past. There will be no theft.
Well, of course, here you're saying that for us to fight corruption as a country, then there has to be will from the top leadership up there. I wonder whether the kind of leaders that we have right now actually give you that hope, owing to the fact that a number of our leaders have been involved in a number of scandals back in the past, some of which cannot even travel to certain countries right now, owing to
these
the
are our leaders, and they are good people, and we must support them because they are our own. And they can do a lot, including fighting corruption. But they are not the sort of person I'm talking about. Me, I'm talking of a very serious paradigm shift. I'm looking at a revolutionary way of looking at things, of changing the country. And I'm just saying, you make Manyora president on Monday, on Tuesday, and Akula Biblia Tuesday. By Friday, there will be no thief.
So
not one man stealing 1 shilling that belongs to Kenyans.
Are we not yet there? Does the leadership that we have right now?
I'm saying they are good people and we must support them, but they are not they are not of that mindset. You know, it's a mindset.
Okay.
It's the mindset that I'm saying. Somebody like me, somebody like Mudavadi, Ngari Kadua. I'm not even saying Raila. I know what I mean. It's a person who is willing to take the risk, because that kind of person may not even last in State House.
Well and good.
You may be voted out. You may be smoked out. Stuff could happen to you. But you must be prepared to pay the ultimate price if that means you'll move this country from being a poor, dirty third world country into a nation that is respected by other countries in the world. That means you have to take the risk. And indeed, it's a very big risk. Because all these Ngorokos who thrive on theft, remember corruption is an industry. So Manyora has landed in State House. And there's no more theft. Do you know what will happen? Some of these big schools will just close because they will have no children. These clubs, you see people, there will be nobody. Corruption is an industry, my friend. If you stopped corruption today, many of these high-end clubs will close. Many of these schools will close. Some of these top-end national and private hospitals, they will close because they will have no clients. Because corruption is an industry and it feeds in the economy. Actually, there are sectors of the economy that for a time would freeze if you stop corruption. Wow. But we must stop it. Yes.
Okay, the president mentioned, made some statement, a remarkable statement back then in the early months of his tenure. Of course, he said very well that the moment that Bible will be brought down, then he'll go for the cartels. That statement still lingers on the minds of Kenyans. Do you think so far the president has lived to the expectations of Kenyans in as far as fighting graft and corruption is concerned in this country?
We have said the president is a good man. He's a God-fearing man. He's our president. We love him and we shall support him. But we can also say that he has not delivered on certain promises. Yes.
So was that a PR stunt to you? That statement?
You know, it's very complicated. You know, you can blame somebody, but even me, I'm saying I may go there and not do it. It's complicated. The setup of our politics is very difficult for somebody to come to be a product of this system and fight corruption.
Okay.
Because first of all, the people who have helped you, the people who surround you, most of them are thieves. Yeah. Let us be honest with ourselves. So you are a president and people who helped you into power, who surround you, some of whom you have even appointed, they're just thieves. So it's very difficult for you to go very hard on thieves. You may go for them, but not when you look, you close one eye because these are they're your children. You can't beat your child with a hammer. You use a small stick.
So they're within the house.
Yes. So in this house, there are so many crooks and thieves and buccaneers and gorokos. So you can't burn the house.
So you're here saying that there is no word such as corruption or graft in Kenya. It's pure theft.
Theft, yeah.
Is this the reason why you're saying in your book why things will not work in Kenya?
Yes.
Does it really reach there?
Yeah, it's just theft. It's not corruption. Corruption is difficult to deal with, but ours is just theft.
Well and good, we wish Bishop David Oginde all the best as he takes the mantle as the chief, or rather the guy in charge of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Of course, right now the public trust is a little bit low, but then we do hope that the fight against graft and corruption, for that matter, will increase in this country, and at the end of the day, Kenyans will benefit from such. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stop this conversation at this point, but in case you're watching us for the first time, please do not fail to subscribe to our channel here, and of course, do not fail to tune in some of our programs that will be coming up next. My name is Evans Okinyi. Such a pleasure to have you on board. Thank you.